Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For today's video, we are going to be talking about the difference between the classic, hybrid, and volume set. Remember that if you guys are looking for materials either to practice or to apply eyelash extensions, you can go ahead and find our materials at www.nanamonabeauty.com. My name is Monica. I am one of the founders of Nana and Mona and also your English version instructor, and I hope you enjoy this video. Si te gustaría ver este mismo video pero en versión en español, recuerda que puedes revisar el canal de mi amiga Adriana que va a estar acá arriba. And to begin, let's start by talking about eyelash sets. Eyelash sets are basically divided into three parts: the classic set, a hybrid set, and a volume set. During this video, we are going to show you different examples on how you can translate a classic, hybrid, or volume set on either a board, a mannequin, and also a sponge. So let's begin with the first image. Now, as I mentioned, these sets are breaking down into three parts. The first one is the classic, the second is the hybrid, and the third is a volume set. And to further understand all three of these, let's begin with the explanation. So we are going to start by drawing our eye. Mine looks a little weird, but just bear with me. And we are adding all of these natural eyelashes. The first one we are going to explain is the classic set. Now this mathematically would be 1D plus 1D, and it would basically be 1, 1, 1, 1. I'm going to show you guys on the lash. It's just going to be a strand of hair applied to our natural lash. As you can see, it's a strand applied to our natural lash, and that's basically all that we are going to be doing for this set. When we look for the classics, this is how they look. I know they look dark, but they are single. And here I tried to show you guys, but apparently I was not in focus with the camera. You can find them in 0.12s, 0.15s, 0.18s, and remember it's 1D plus 1D is going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now we are going to erase, and we're going to be moving on to the next one. Our next one is going to be the hybrid set. Mathematically speaking, this one is going to be 1D plus V for volume, 1D plus V, and so on and so forth. And the reason why I did a 2D was because it doesn't matter what type of volume it is. You can work with any of them as long as you maintain the pattern of 1 plus volume plus 1 plus volume plus 1. And here you could see I'm basically just drawing them. Bear with my fans, I know they look a little weird. But this is a pattern that we are going to be creating. We're basically doing 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. And it doesn't necessarily have to be 3. It could just be any type of volume. This is usually how you can find them. The volumes are actually, the ones we sell are pre-made, but you can find them or you can make them yourself. And basically we're gonna go 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. And not necessarily, as I mentioned, has to be 1 or 3. It can be 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D. Moving on to volumes, we are going to find that this is going to be volume plus volume plus volume plus volume, so on and so forth. And I'm just going to do a visualization of how it's going to look. And basically, this is all going to be anything above 2D, so 2D and up. These obviously are going to be way fuller, and this is how you can find them when they are in the pre-made version. But as I mentioned, a volume doesn't necessarily mean that it's just 3D. It can be from 2D and up, all the way up to handmade. Now that we understood it in the whiteboard, let's move on to a mannequin head. Now let's move on to the mannequin head. For this purpose, I basically just started doing the application because I didn't want this video to be too long. But then I thought that maybe you guys would want to see in a slower version how I pick up and place. Now, I do want to put in as a disclaimer that I usually use eyeglasses. So when I was filming this, I didn't have my glasses on because they reflect, but I could not see. So if you see me going either past a lash or applying it and then going backwards, I was basically just blind at this point. You see right there, I couldn't put it on. The whole point of this, as we saw in the whiteboard, is to apply one single strand of hair onto one single strand of the natural lash. And this is a pretty good set for those who are experiencing eyelash extensions for the first time, because it does not really overwhelm them. So this is a pretty good set when your customer is just starting and doesn't know exactly what to get. So now we're looking at this up close and personal, and with the help of our tweezers, you are able to see that all of these are going basically 1D plus 1D plus 1D plus 1D plus 1D. And since our next set is going to be a hybrid, I took the liberty of, instead of just applying again, I basically just removed every other individual lash that was there, because as you know, it's a pattern of 1D plus volume. So that is what I did. So this is a simple technique that you can apply to your lashing. You can basically add the 1Ds first in this manner, leaving one natural lash in between, because this is where we are going to be applying our volume lash. So as you can see, it's one 1D, one natural one, 1D, natural one, 1D, natural. And for the hybrid set, as you guys see, I have switched my tweezers to Vital or Vital, however you want to say it. And these are good for managing volume lashes. And basically what I'm going to be doing is just filling in the spaces with my fans. In this case, I am using 3Ds. And this is basically what we're going to be doing until we fill the lashes up. This set is great for those who have already worn eyelash extensions and are looking to upgrade, or if they are looking for a volume but not something too crazy. Of course, we have to keep in mind how many natural lashes our guest has, because obviously the more they have, the darker this volume set will be. Looking at it in this view, we are going to be able to tell that there is a 3D fan, there is a 1D, there is a 3D, and then a 1D, and then a 3D and a 1D. Again, you guys are able to do whatever fan you want depending on the fullness or the design, but essentially that is the design of the hybrid set. And lastly, we are going to be applying a volume set on Juanita, our mannequin head. This one is pretty simple because all you do is apply the volume lashes. Obviously, if we were lashing a real person, we would map out a design and use different types of lengths. But since this is just a practice, we are basically trying to show only the patterns. And as you guys can see, again, I was not looking, I wasn't able to see everything that I was doing because I'm pretty blind. But if you guys can see, we barely have any on and it's looking pretty dark. I know a lot of lash technicians find this set to be soothing because they can actually see how they start to fill up. Fast forwarding to how it already turned out, you see that there are all volumes and they look really full. And now that we've reviewed it on a mannequin head, let's move on to the sponge. For the sponge, mostly it's so that you can see the pattern by itself. I know that with the strip lash, it could be a little overwhelming with the other hair that's around. So basically you see that this is always going to be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 for the classic set. For the hybrid, I spaced these out on purpose so that you could see the design. It's going to be 1D plus volume, 1D plus volume, 1D plus volume, 1D plus volume, and so on. And lastly, for our volume set, it's going to be volume plus volume plus volume plus volume. So basically, this is the concept itself of what a set implies. The names may vary of the sets depending on the person who is offering these sets, and also if they altered the technique and added different lengths, curls, or volumes. But essentially, these are the types of sets that you will always find. So now that you know this, you will understand that when we are applying a classic set, the only thing we are going to be altering is the length and also the curl, because this is just a 1D or a single individual classic lash. When we are referring to a hybrid, we are adding a little bit of volume, although it's not completely volume because there are still some individual classics. And when we're referring to a volume set, we will find that we are going to be adding a lot of volume, and we're also going to make the lashes appear darker and fuller. And depending on the fan size, you can either double it if you're using 2D, triple it if you're using 3D, and so on and so forth, depending on the volume that you are working with. And well, friends, I hope that these images and examples will allow you to better understand what a classic set is, hybrid, and volume set. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, or if you just want to say hi, be sure to leave your comments down below. We answer them and review them personally. Don't forget to check out our website, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye!